Alright, all you holiday racers out there, welcome back to Under the Radar. And this week's Stunts of the Week comes from none other than Drift Club Kabula with his stunt Backflip Sanchez, and of course, Sagan X Dragon with his stunt Zatorno Sledding. And the reason why these two stunts made it in for the Stunt of the Week for this week, well, if anybody without snow tires can pull off a Medley backflip like that, is definitely worthy of being the Stunt of the Week. And the reason why the second stunt made it in, well, anybody who can skip across railroad tracks and do a gyroscope landing on both wheels like a glove is definitely worth the honor as well. And speaking of people worthy of the honor of being mentioned during this show, I think it's about that time for us to get ready to rev our engines and see who was the best of the best for this final week of 2019 and for the decade, as we get ready for another very special anniversary edition of the GTA Online Top 5 Tracks of the Week. And the first track that we have up comes from the creator Shelby GR with her deathmatch Santa's Ring Village, or Santa's RNG Village. And the reason why this made it in for this week, folks, not only because she managed to turn the Artisan Cove Village into Santa's Play Death Valley, which involves you taking out your friends with not only snowballs, but carbine rifles, and even getting a chance to ride lawnmowers in the snow. And the only tip of advice I have for you fans out there is watch out for getting pelted with snowballs. Because even though it seems like snowballs, that's a weapon sort of weapon, but if you get hit with one at the right spot, it will take you down to the ground and leave you open to get pelted with something other than snowballs, but hot lead from a special carbine. So watch out for snowballs during this makeshift dangerous snowball fight near the top of Mount Chiliad. And the next track to make it in for this track of the week for this week comes from the creator Halleck_187B with his said track Saturnilla TSL. And I got a feeling the TSL stands for tinsel, because this guy was able to create an entire track made out of Christmas trees. I kid you not, folks, from the loop to certain sections of the track, it's made completely out of Christmas trees. And the only tip of advice we have for you fans out there who wants to take on this tinsel-like extreme challenge is this. Make sure you pick a car with good handling, because with the new snow that's freshly hit the ground in Los Santos, there's a high possibility while you're trying to take that loop through Tinseltown, there will be a high possibility that you can fly out of that loop and get knocked into the ground and lose this race. So choose your cars wisely, and you should do this race some good Christmas-like justice by getting the candy pole position. And with those horrible Christmas puns out of the way, folks, the next track that we got up comes from the creator Shelby GR once again with her track, or deathmatch in this case, Christmas Town. And this said crazy deathmatch that takes place at the observatory on the top of Los Santos involves you fighting against your friends in this makeshift winter wonderland with special carbines and a certain litany list of vehicles that you can grab to try to take your opponents out. Now, the only bit of warning I have for you fans out there who loves auto-aim out there, this track does not involve it. Or should I say deathmatch? I keep forgetting this is a deathmatch. And at the same time, folks, with plenty of places to hide, make sure your aim is true, because it's under free aim mode, and if you miss a shot, it could prove fatal in this said deathmatch. And also make sure you bring plenty of candy and armor for the journey on this winter wonderland of violence. And the next track that we have up, that's actually a track, folks, comes from the creator Theoloro71 with his said track, Face to Face Tunnel. And this track, bar none, I have a feeling it's probably one of the craziest tracks for this year. And the reason why we say that, folks, is because it's a head-to-head track with the thinnest amount of track you could possibly imagine, with you racing against your opponents in certain cars, such as, and not limited to, the RCV, the Vigilante, and of course the Armored Box Bill, aka the car that may have been in a Twisted Metal game or two, and even that crazy truck from Duel, along with a caddy and even a dock tug that you could race during this transformation point-to-point demolition derby of a race. And the only tip of advice that I have for you fans out there is watch out for traffic. That's the only tip we have for you, because you're gonna hit somebody head on, but you wanna make sure it's not any of the cars with the ramp on the front, because if you do, let's just say you will fly off this track or go out in a blaze of glory by exploding on one of the upper ridges. And yes, Maestro, this would be one of the first races I would say is a catch-22 situation if you're in first or last place. Now, if you're in the middle of the pack, there's a high possibility you could win, but either way, you're gonna get hit. No matter which way you look at it, you're gonna get hit by a car on this track, so be prepared for it. And the next track that we have up, or should we say the last but not least track of the week for 2019, comes from the creator Pt.5 with his said track, Christmas Transform. And in this said holly jolly track filled with candy canes, Christmas trees, and other cool things along the way, it will be a land, air, and sea race that you will never forget, folks, because it not only involves parachutes, also involves the transforming ATVs known as the Aqua, and even involving the Batmobile of the Vigilante during this said race, along with the Pyro. So, the only tip of advice I have for you fans out there is to make sure your skills in air travel, sea travel, and parachuting is at its highest, especially during the parachute part, because if your opponent has any form of weapons on them during that parachuting part, there's a high possibility he'll try to shoot you out of the air, and it will cost you during this very race. So, be prepared. And with that said, folks, wraps it up for the final time for 2019 and for this decade edition of the GTA Online Top 5 Tracks of the Week. And with that said, we might as well head back into this music one more time, and when we return, we'll be back with the final segment for this 5-year anniversary of Under the Radar right after this. So don't get lost in the madness just yet, folks, and stay tuned.